everyone, welcome back to BioSchool. Hope you all are fine. This is Dr. Gayatri. In today's session, I am going to discuss CSIR NET 2020 questions of Part B. So, today we will focus questions from 1 to 15 and all the questions are from morning session. I have already uploaded Part B of evening session. You will get the link in my description box, so please do watch. And let's get started today. Question number 1. Given below are few approaches or techniques used in analysis of plants. Which one of the following combination of approaches or techniques can be used to differentiate between transgenic and non-transgenic plants of a particular variety if the site of insertion is unknown? So it is asking which of the following combination of techniques or approaches that are used to differentiate the transgenic plant and non-transgenic plant where the site of insertion is unknown. So let's see what are the approaches or technique. The first one is phenotype linked to the marker gene. Yes, this one is required to differentiate the transgenic and the non-transgenic plant. The transgenic plant, it expresses the different phenotype as it linked to the marker gene. Option B, PCR using primer specific to the host gene. And option D, see here it is the PCR using transgene specific primers. So for distinguishing the transgenic and the non-transgenic plant, we need the primers that are specific to the transgene, not to the host genome. So option B is wrong and option D is correct. Then option C, southern hybridization. Yes, southern hybridization, it is required to identify the transgene. Is the southern hybridization, it is used to identify the gene in the genome. Okay, so this one is correct. The correct combination is option A, C and D. That is option 3 is the correct answer. Let's see the next question. The next question is which one of the following statements about GAL gene expression is false? Okay. It is the eukaryotic gene regulation. So the GAL gene, it is expressed in the media where there is the presence of galactose. GAL4 is a positive regulator of GAL genes. Yes, GAL4 is a positive regulator of GAL genes. If in the media galactose is present, then GAL4 it converts the galactose to the glucose. This one is right. The upstream activating sequence, that is US region, that regulates the GAL gene expression harbors short-phased AT repeats every 10 base pairs. Yes, the upstream activating sequence. And this one is the promoter and the GAL gene. So the upstream activating sequence, the US, this one, it is this in adenine and the thymine, AT rich. Option 3, GAL80 is a positive regulator of GAL4. No, GAL80 it suppresses the activity of GAL4. So if in the medium there is no galactose, okay, if in the medium the galactose is absent, then GAL80 it will suppress the activity of GAL4. If there is no galactose, then so the GAL4 it cannot convert the galactose to glucose, and GAL80 it inhibit the activity of GAL4. Let's see. Option 4, GAL80 it is negatively regulated by GAL3. Yes, if in the medium if the galactose is present, then galactose along with the GAL3, okay, galactose along with the in the medium galactose is present, then galactose along with the GAL3 it will bind to the GAL4, okay, and it will induce the transcription of GAL4 gene by inhibiting or negatively regulating the GAL80. So option 4 is correct. Option 4 is correct. The false is option 3. Okay. Question number 3. Which one of the following amino acid is characteristic of and is conjugate in response regulator of plant two component system. Okay, in plant and most of the bacteria there is a common signaling pathway which is known as the two component system. So that in the two component system, one component is known as the sensor. Okay, one is known as the sensor and another one is known as the response regulator. So the another one is known as response regulator. So the sensor, it has a autophosphorylating histone kinase, and response regulator, it transfer phosphate from sensor. Response regulator, it transfer the phosphate group from sensor to its conjugate amino acid, which is aspartic acid. The correct answer is option 1, aspartic acid. Okay. The next question, which of the following statements about R bending of metaphase chromosomes is false? It is asking which one is false. The heat treatment preferentially denatures GC-rich DNA to produce R-bending pattern. No, it's not the GC-rich DNA, it is the AT-rich region. It is AT-rich region. So this one is false. Let's see the other option. This is essentially the reverse of G-bending pattern. Yes, the R-bending, it is the reverse of G-bending pattern. This one is correct. The R bands are quinacrine negative. Of course, it is quinacrine negative because we consider the G equal to Q. So R is quinacrine negative. This one is correct. The DNA of R bands generally replicate early during S phase of cell cycle. This one is also correct. So the false is option 1. Okay. Okay. Question number 5. Which one of the following plant homeotic genes does not encode Marsh domain transcription factor involved in floral organ specification? Okay. So AP1, AP3, P1 and AG, these are belong to the homeotic gene that encode the Marsh domain transcription factors, and the AP2, it belongs to AP2 domain. Okay, it belongs to AP2 domain transcription factor. So which one of the following plant homeotic gene does not encode Marsh domain transcription factor, that is AP2? The correct answer is option 1. Okay. Which one of the following plant protein is targeted by SC toxin produced by maize fungal pathogen Coclebolus carbonum? Okay, SC toxin, it is produced by the maize fungal pathogen. It target histone deacetylase. So the correct answer is option 2. It is histone deacetylase. Question number 7. A stoichiometric mixture of alpha and beta anomer of D-glucose in water exhibits. So this one is the carbon one. This is the anomeric carbon. If the hydroxyl group, it is present below the, or it is present down the plane of ring, then that is known as the alpha. If it is present above the plane of the ring, if the hydroxyl group, it is present above the plane of the ring of anomeric carbon, then that one is known as the beta. Okay, beta. So this one is the alpha glucose and this one is known as the beta glucose. And the alpha glucose and the beta glucose, they have the specific properties. Alpha glucose, it has the rotation of 112 degrees specific rotation, and beta glucose, the specific rotation, it is 13 degree. Okay, And we know that mostly the carbohydrates, they are optically active because of presence of chiral carbon atom, except ketose group. So see here in the option, all the three options like 2, 3 and 4, they have shown the no optical activity. The glucose, it has the optical activity, so all these three options are wrong. So the correct option will be option 1. The net optical, if a stoichiometric mixture of alpha and beta anomers of D-glucose in water, it exhibit net optical rotation that is proportional to the sum of optical activities of each anomer. Okay, so the correct answer is option 1. Okay. In a population showing exponential growth, per capita growth rate will be. So if a population is showing the exponential growth, then it will form a J-shaped growth curve. And in the J-shaped growth curve, okay, so in a population, the growth rate we are calculating by using the formula dN by dt equal to Rn. Okay, R is the per capita growth. If the population showing exponential growth, then it will be, the formula will be dN divided by dt equal to R max multiplied by N. I have a video on exponential growth of population, so please watch that video also. Okay, it is the R max and N. So if the population rate is increased, if the population showing the exponential growth, then per capita growth rate, it remains constant. Okay, so the correct option, it will be option 3, remain constant as the population size increases. If it is the logistic growth curve, then it will form the S-shaped growth curve. In S-shaped growth curve, what will happen? If the population size increases, then per capita growth rate, it will be decreases. And the formula, it will be like this, like dN divided by dt equal to R multiplied by carrying capacity. K is the carrying capacity. K minus N divided by N multiplied by N. Okay. So if it is exponential growth, then formula it will be like this, where the population, if the population grow exponentially, then per capita growth rate, it will remain constant. But if it is the logistic growth curve, then what will happen? Population showing logistic growth, then per capita growth rate, it will decreases. Okay, there is the option 1, that is for the logistic growth curve. Okay, here it is asking the exponential growth. So in a population, if there is a exponential growth, then per capita growth rate, it will be constant. The correct answer is option 3. Question number 9. The total number of cells in 1 ml of bacterial culture was estimated to be 2.7 into 10 to power 6. 1 ml bacteria culture, the total number of cell is 2.7 into 10 to power 6. We can write it as a 27 multiplied by 10 to power 5 also. Okay. The culture was diluted 27-fold. It was diluted by 27-fold. So divided by 27. Now in 1 ml of bacterial culture has 1 into 10 to power 5 cells. Okay. And 100 microliter seeded per well of 96 well plate. What is the final cell number per well? Okay. 100 ml seeded per well. 100 ml. So it is containing 1 ml is 1000 microliter. 1000 microliter, it has 1 into 10 to power 5 cell. So it is asking about the 100 microliter. The final cell number for well, it will be, if it will be taken into the 100 microliter, then is 1 into 10 to power 4. The final cell number per well, it will be 1 into 10 to the power 4. That is option 4 is correct answer. Question number 10. The mechanism of oxygen transport by hemocyanin. Hemocyanin, it is found in the hemolymph of arthropods. It containing the copper is described by copper 1 plus oxygen is converted into copper 2 plus. Okay. Which one of the following technique can be used to monitor the change in the oxidation state of copper? So here the oxidation of copper takes place. So if the copper is oxidized, then it will form the blue in color. Okay. And that will be detected by which of the following techniques? Mass spectrometry. Mass spectrometry, it is used to measure the mass to charge ratio. So here it is, there is no mass. So this one is wrong. Circular dichromism. Circular dichromism, it is used to measure the or detect the secondary structure of protein and the protein folding. So this one is wrong. Absorption spectroscopy, it is the correct answer because it will detect the change in color. Fluorescence spectroscopy, it detect the fluorescent in the sample, fluorescence compound in the sample. So this one is wrong. So the correct answer is option 3. Which one of the following is not involved in the formation of lipid rafts? Lipid rafts, it is rich in cholesterol and sphingolipids. So the sphingolipids, then cholesterol will be present, then sphingomyelin it will be present, then glycolipid will be present. And the wrong is phosphatidyl serine. As the lipid raft, it is present in the extracellular surface of the plasma membrane, and the phosphatidyl serine, that is rich in the cytoplasmic surface. So phosphatidyl serine is the wrong answer. That is option 4. Which of the following is not produced by alpha amylase digestion of ingested amylopectin? Amylopectins, these are the branched polymers of alpha D glucose with alpha 1,4 linkage and alpha 1,6 branched point. It is digested by alpha amylase. Alpha amylase, it is an endoenzyme. So it will cleave the alpha 1,4 linkage. Okay. It cannot digest the terminal glucose residues. So which one of the following is not produced by alpha amylase digestion? It will never produce the glucose molecule. The correct answer will be glucose. So for answering this question, just you have to know the either the alpha amylase, it is an endoenzyme or exoenzyme. Alpha amylase, it is an endoenzyme. Okay. So endoenzyme, it will be cleave the alpha 1,4 linkage. So if there is a 2 glucose molecule, then that will form the maltose. If there is a 3 glucose molecule which are linked by the alpha 1,4 linkages, then it will produce the maltotriose. And alpha limidextrin, it is a oligosaccharide of alpha, it is a oligosaccharide linked by alpha 1,4 and alpha 1,6 linkage. These three will be produced by the digestion of alpha amylase. of ingested amylopectin. So which one will be not produced? That is the glucose. The correct answer is option 1. Question number 13. Which one of the following causes constriction of blood vessels? First one is carbon monoxide. We know that carbon monoxide, it causes the dilation of blood vessels. Then nitric oxide, it is a paracrine signaling molecule, and nitric oxide, it is synthesized from arginine by enzyme nitric oxide synthase. Then it will move to the neighboring cell. In the smooth muscle cell, it causes the dilation of blood vessel. So this one is also cause the dilation of blood vessel. Atrial natriuretic peptide. Atrial natriuretic peptide, it is synthesized by the heart and also by the brain. And this hormone, they basically it reduce the blood pressure, arterial blood pressure, by decreasing blood volume. So this one is also cause the dilation of blood vessel. So which one of these cause the constriction of blood vessel? The blood vessel constriction is caused by the endothelin 1. So if you don't know what is the function of endothelin 1, then also you will able to answer this question, because we very well know that carbon monoxide, nitric oxide and the arterial natriuretic peptide, they cause the dilation of blood vessels. So which one of the following cause the constriction of blood vessel? That is endothelin 1. It is option 3 is correct answer. Okay, question number 14. Which one of the following statement is true? Okay, let's see. Nick translation cannot be used for radio labeling of DNA fragment for use in southern hybridization. Nick translation, it is used for radio labeling DNA fragment for use in southern hybridization. So this one is wrong. Okay, race. Race, it is the rapid amplification of cDNA ends. Okay, it is used to obtain sequence information of the ends of cDNA. It's right, because its name also indicate that it is a rapid amplification of cDNA ends that is used to obtain the sequence information of the cDNA ends. This one is true. In a 2D gel electrophoresis, for separating proteins, analytes are first separated on the basis of their size, then on the basis of isoelectric point. No, it's the first based on their isoelectric point, then based on size. So this one is wrong. AFLP markers are typically used to screen heterozygotes, as it is a dominant marker, so it cannot be used to screen the heterozygotes. So this one is also wrong. So the correct answer is option 2. So question number 15. Which one of the following metabolites formed during Kelvin-Benson cycle in chloroplast is involved in starch biosynthesis and can also be transported to cytosol? So in Kelvin-Benson cycle, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, which is produced, that is used for the synthesis of starch molecule or the sugar molecule. So let's see the option. Here it is given the triose phosphate, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, fructose 6-phosphate, ribulose 1,6 bisphosphate. So it's the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and the triose phosphate. So you can get confused in between these two options, but the correct option, it will be the triose phosphate, because glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, it is also a triose phosphate. The correct answer is option 1. Thank you so much for watching this video. In comment section, I will upload explanation of questions 16 to 30. So guys, please be stay tuned and don't forget to share and subscribe my channel. Bye bye. See you in my next video.